The chosen woman. Every scar she bears is a chapter of survival written in strength. Not one mark on her spirit is without meaning. The chosen woman, they are not signs of weakness or failure, but reminders of all she has endured and overcome. She has walked through fire, through heartbreak, through doubt, through nights so heavy they nearly crushed her. And she carries the evidence not as shame, but as story. One that speaks of courage, of resilience, of a woman who refused to stay broken. She does not hide her scars. She does not cover them with pretty lies or silent suffering. The chosen woman. She does not pretend they never happened. She lets them breathe. She lets them speak. Because they are part of her, the chosen woman. And she has grown to love even the parts that hurt. She has stitched herself back together with threads of grace, held herself through storms that others never saw, and emerged each time more powerful than before. There was a time when she was afraid of her scars, the chosen woman, of what they revealed, afraid they made her less. But now she sees them differently. The chosen woman. Now she sees them as a map of where she's been and what she's learned. Each scar is proof that something tried to break her and failed. That pain came but did not stay. That wounds bled but eventually closed. That she is here alive, standing. Not untouched, but undefeated. She chosen woman. She knows that real strength is not found in being flawless. It is found in being whole after being shattered. The chosen woman, she has learned that healing is not about erasing what happened, but about embracing what has come from it. Her scars remind her that she is still becoming, that she is a work in progress, and that is more than enough. She honors her journey without apologizing for it. People may look at her and see the surface. They may see her confidence, her calm, her poise. But beneath it all are moments when she almost gave up. When she was tired of being strong. When she was tired of holding everyone else while no one held her. Yet even in those moments she kept going. Not because she always felt strong, but because she believed there was something on the other side of the pain worth reaching for. Her scars do not make her bitter. They make her better. The chosen woman. They have opened her heart rather than closing it. They have deepened her capacity for empathy, for kindness, for truth. The chosen woman, because she knows what it means to break and rebuild, to lose and still love, to cry and still rise. Her scars have made her gentle with others, but they have also made her fierce. Fierce in her boundaries, in her truth, in her self-respect. She does not seek to erase the past. The chosen woman, she knows that pretending the pain never happened only gives it more power. So she chooses instead to tell the truth, to let her scars tell it with her. She has nothing to hide. She is not defined by the hurt, but by the healing. She is not trapped by the memory, but empowered by the transformation. Each scar on her heart, in her soul, even the ones no one else can see, have shaped her into a woman who knows her own worth, who does not settle for less, who does not let fear speak louder than her purpose. Her scars are not signs of failure. They are medals of endurance, worn with dignity, worn with pride. When she speaks now, the chosen woman, it is with the voice of someone who has seen the worst and chosen the best. When she loves now, it is with the heart of someone who knows how fragile life is and chooses to love anyway. When she walks, the chosen woman, it is with the strength of someone who has been through the valley and still finds beauty in the journey. There will always be people who misunderstand her scars, who see only the wound and not the healing. But she no longer lives for their understanding. She lives for her truth, for her peace, for the life she is building one brave step at a time. She has made peace with her past, claimed strength from her pain, and found wisdom in every wound. And now, she carries her scars not as burdens, but as proof that she survived, the chosen healed, and that she is still rising. A resilient woman is not defined by what she has lost, but by how she continues to rise. She carries within her a quiet storm, a deep well of courage, and a light that no darkness can extinguish. Her journey is not one of perfection, but of perseverance. She bends, but she does not break. She speaks truth even when her voice trembles. She walks through chaos with calm. turns pain into power, and wears her scars as proof that she survived with grace. To every woman walking her own path of strength, you are enough, you are powerful, and you are never alone in your rising. Keep standing, keep believing, keep becoming. The world needs your fire, your faith. The chosen woman, your fearless heart. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for listening. The chosen woman, her voice does not echo for approval. It speaks to awaken truth. She does not raise her voice to be liked. She does not speak to entertain or to conform. When she opens her mouth, it is because something within her soul refuses to remain silent. A resilient woman understands the weight of words. She has tasted the sting of being silenced, overlooked, misunderstood. But instead of allowing that silence to bury her voice, she let it sharpen her message. She does not need a crowd to clap in order to speak her truth. Her voice is not a mirror. It does not reflect what others want to hear. It is a window into what is real. She speaks not to fit in, but to stand out, to stand up, to shake what needs to be shaken. Her voice is soft sometimes, but never small. It carries the stories of her journey, the chosen woman, the wisdom of her wounds, the power of her becoming. She does not need to shout to be heard. Her voice carries weight because it rises from a place of honesty, from a place that knows pain and healing, fear and courage, loss and renewal. The chosen woman, she is not concerned with sounding perfect. She is concerned with sounding real. There was a time when she held her tongue, when she swallowed her thoughts and let others define her, when she feared her truth make others uncomfortable. But that time has passed. She has learned that silence in the face of truth is a slow kind of suffocation. And she has chosen breath. She has chosen boldness. She has chosen her voice. She does not speak to hurt. She speaks to heal. She knows that words can be weapons, but she wields them with care. She speaks with grace, but also with fire, because there is power in naming what others are afraid to name. There is freedom in breaking the silence. She speaks not just for herself, but for every woman who is still finding the courage to do the same. Her words are bridges for those behind her, and a reminder that even the quietest voice can change the atmosphere. She does not argue to win. She speaks to reveal, to hold space for truth. She knows that her voice might not always be accepted, but it will always be authentic. And authenticity to her matters more than applause. She is not looking to be celebrated for her voice. She uses it because it is part of her responsibility, because it was given to her not as an ornament, but as an instrument. Her voice may tremble at times, but it never hides. She does not silence herself to make others comfortable. She does not edit her truth fit inside someone else's expectations. The chosen woman, she has found freedom in expression, not in shouting over others, but in standing firmly in her truth and letting it be heard. She knows her story matters, her perspective matters, and her presence matters. She has seen how a single sentence, spoken with conviction, the chosen woman, can break a chain. She has seen how truth, when spoken in love, can shift a room, soften a heart, start a movement. She does not underestimate the impact of her words. She has grown into her voice. She has wrestled with it, nurtured it, and now she honors it. Even in a world that tells women to shrink, to soften, to stay small, she rises and speaks. Not with arrogance, but with clarity. Not to prove herself, but to express herself. And even when her voice shakes, she does not retreat. Because her message matters more than her comfort. The chosen woman, her purpose matters more than her fear. She does not need the room to agree. She only needs to speak what is true. The chosen woman, there is something powerful about a woman who knows what she carries in her voice. Something undeniable in the way she speaks truth with both courage and compassion. She does not whisper to be polite when her soul demands volume. The chosen woman, and when she speaks, those who are ready to listen are changed. She is not asking for a stage. She brings her voice wherever she goes, because she knows that her truth has value, her story has weight, and her voice, whether heard by many or just one, can light the way forward. And that is why she speaks, not for permission, not for applause, but because truth was never meant to stay silent. A resilient woman bends but never breaks, for her roots run deep. Life has pushed her, pulled her, tried to twist her in directions she never asked for, but she remains grounded. She may sway, she may lean, she may even fall to her knees, but she does not shatter. Her strength is not in how tall she stands during calm seasons, but in how she stays rooted during the storm. Because beneath her feet years of survival, moments of clarity, lessons learned in silence, and strength built from everything that tried to bury her, she does not fear being tested. She knows the wind will come, the earth will shake, the chosen woman, and sometimes even the people she trusted will leave. But she also knows she has something inside her that does not quit. The chosen woman, she has grown through droughts of floods of grief and fires of loss, and she still keeps blooming. Her beauty is not in being untouched by pain. It's in how she continues to grow despite it. When the world sees her falter, the chosen woman, they might think she is breaking, but what they fail to see is how firmly she's anchored. The chosen woman, they do not see the deep truths she has built her life upon. She has made her roots from prayers whispered in darkness. The chosen woman, from courage that rose in the face of fear, from dreams kept alive through sheer will. The chosen woman, she does not break because she has already been broken before. And each time she put herself back together, her roots grew stronger. The chosen woman, she doesn't just grow in sunlight, she grows in shadow too. She doesn't just stand firm when it's easy. She stands firm when everything is uncertain. People may walk away, plans may fall apart, but she stays rooted in who she is. The chosen woman, she knows her value doesn't rise and fall with circumstances. Her worth is not attached to what she gains or loses. The chosen woman, her identity is not shaken by what others say or do. She is rooted in something deeper than opinions and outcomes. There are times when life bends her in ways that seem impossible to recover from. Betrayals that cut deep. Losses that shake her soul. Unexpected changes that challenge everything she thought she knew. But she does not let these moments define her. She allows them to teach her. She allows herself to feel the pain, but she doesn't stay in it. She grows through it. She lets every moment refine her, not destroy her. Even when she's misunderstood or judged for being too strong, too sensitive, too quiet, or too bold, she stays rooted in her truth. She does not seek approval to stand tall. She does not need validation to continue growing. The chosen woman, her resilience is not performance, it's her way of surviving, of thriving, of rising again and again. She has seen how easily life can change. She has felt what it means to be shaken to the core. But even then, she returns to herself. She breathes through the weight. She bends so she doesn't break. And with every bend, she becomes more flexible, more compassionate, more wise. She understands that resilience doesn't mean being untouched. It means being unshakable at the core. Her roots are her faith, her values, her inner voice, her lessons, her love. And when you speak with her, you feel it, that unspoken strength, that quiet power. The chosen woman, she does not need to tell you she's been through the storm. You can feel it in the calm of her voice, in the softness of her eyes. The chosen one, in the steadiness of her presence. She is not unscarred. She is simply deeply rooted. She carries herself not with arrogance, but with certainty. The chosen woman, because she knows who she is and she knows what she's overcome. She does not pretend life is easy. She just knows how to bend with it, how to shift when needed, how to trust her own foundation. She remains planted even when everything around her feels uncertain. And when the storm is over, you'll find her standing still, perhaps with leaves missing, perhaps with bark wounded, but still alive. Still growing. Still rising, because that is who she is. A woman rooted so deeply in her truth that nothing can break her completely. She walks through storms carrying the calm within her. The winds may rage around her, the skies may darken, and the world may tremble beneath her feet, but inside her, there is a quiet place that no storm can reach. It is not that she is untouched by chaos, Not that she doesn't feel fear or pressure or pain. She simply refuses to let the storm define her. She has lived through enough to know that storms will come, but they also pass. She does not panic at the first sign of thunder. She has heard it before. She does not run from the rain. She has danced in it and survived it. She has learned that the true test of a woman's strength is not whether she avoids the storm, but how she carries herself through it. And she walks not with arrogance, but with deep, grounded grace. The kind of grace that is earned through nights of uncertainty, through moments of doubt, through seasons of waiting and loss. She has learned how to anchor herself, how to breathe when the wind tries to steal her voice. She knows that her peace is her responsibility, and so she protects it fiercely. She guards her spirit, not with walls, but with wisdom. She does not give the storm more power than it deserves. She does not hand her peace over to fear. She holds it close, tends to it, and feeds it with truth. When others around her are consumed by the noise, she listens to a different sound. It's the steady beat of her own heart. It's the deep knowing that she has made it through before, and she will make it through again. She has seen dark days, and yet she still wakes with hope. She has felt the sting of disappointment, and still chooses to love. That calm within her is not accidental. It is a decision she makes every day. She chooses to be still even when everything around her shakes. Not because she is numb, but because she has trained her soul to rest even in motion. She does not pretend the storm isn't real. She simply doesn't let it steal her center. She has cried in the middle of chaos, whispered prayers when she couldn't find words, and still stood up the next morning with her feet firm and her spirit unshaken. People wonder how she stays so composed, so focused, so grounded. They do not see the work she does within. The constant choosing, the quiet affirmations, the faith she builds piece by piece. She understands that a woman who knows peace cannot be easily moved. A woman who carries calm is a shelter to others. And she becomes that shelter not just for herself, but for those around her who have forgotten how to breathe in the storm. She does not need everything to be perfect to be at peace. She finds calm in imperfection. She creates stillness in chaos. She is not waiting for the world to settle down. She settles herself. She finds the sacred in the present moment. She refuses to be consumed by fear. She walks with intention. She walks with her eyes open. She walks with her faith steady. When the world is loud, she becomes quiet. When the pressure builds, she leans into her breath. She has realized that chaos cannot survive in a soul that chooses peace. Her calm is not weakness. It is control. It is her quiet resistance against all that tries to unravel her. She is unbothered not because she is detached, but because she is deeply connected to something greater than fear. And even if she stumbles, even if she is soaked in the rain and shaken by the wind, she does not break. She does not collapse. She knows how to bend with grace, how to move with the storm without becoming it. She knows that everything outside of her may be unstable, but everything within her is rooted. She keeps walking step by step, thought by thought, breath by breath. And with every step, she shows the world that the storm does not own her. She owns her response. She is the eye of the storm. She is the calm that holds the chaos. She is the peace that walks forward, even when everything else is falling apart. Because she knows that the storm may pass, but her peace will remain. Her silence is not weakness. It is strength gathering itself. The world often mistakes her quiet moments for surrender, the chosen woman, but they do not understand the depth within her stillness. She has learned that not every battle needs noise. The chosen woman, not every wound needs to be shouted from the rooftops. Sometimes the most powerful healing happens in the quiet. The chosen woman, sometimes the most profound strength is born in the spaces where nothing is said, but everything is felt. She knows that silence is not absence. The chosen woman, it is present in its most intentional form. It is the space where her soul speaks louder than any words. In her silence, The chosen woman, she hears the truth that gets buried beneath chaos. She hears her spirit whisper what the world tries to drown out. She listens not just to what is around her, but to what is within. And in that listening, she finds clarity. She finds peace. The chosen woman, she finds the courage to move in her own rhythm, not rushed by expectations or noise. The chosen woman. There have been moments when the weight of her emotions pressed so heavily that words would have only shattered what little strength she had left. In those moments, she turned inward. She gave herself permission to be still, to be quiet, to feel. The world often demands that women explain, justify, prove. But a resilient woman does not perform for the world. She stands in her silence, the chosen, rooted in the knowing that her power does not depend on being loud. Her silence is not retreat. It is strategy. It is discernment. It is protection. The chosen woman, she has learned not to waste her breath where it will not be valued. She speaks when it is time. She holds her tongue when the moment calls for it. The chosen woman. And when she speaks, her words carry weight, not because she speaks often, but because she speaks with intention. There is a deep kind of grace in the way she waits in silence. Not in weakness, but in preparation. Her quiet moments are not passive. The chosen woman, they are active spaces where she gathers herself, where she sorts through her thoughts, heals her wounds, and breathes life back into her tired soul. She does not rush this process. She respects it. Because she knows that when she rises again, and she always does, she will move with deeper wisdom, sharper focus, and unshakable peace. She has faced situations where silence was her only safe space, where her voice was dismissed or misunderstood. In those times, she chose to retreat, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, because silence does not always mean defeat. Sometimes it means survival. Sometimes it means self-respect. She learned to protect her energy, her peace, her power, not by explaining herself endlessly, but by honoring her silence. She does not need the world to see every part of her struggle. Her silence guards what is sacred, what is tender, what is still becoming. She does not wear her pain for display. She lets it transform her in private. And when she emerges stronger, the chosen woman, softer, clearer. Her silence shapes her into the woman she is becoming, a woman who knows when to speak and when to listen, when to stand and when to rest, when to fight and when to breathe. And when she finally speaks after that silence, her voice carries truth. It shakes the ground, not because it is loud, but because it is rooted in something real. Her words are not scattered like dust. The chosen woman, they are planted like seeds, because she took the time in silence to make them whole. The chosen woman, the world may never understand the strength it takes to be quiet when your heart is loud. But she does. The chosen woman, she knows the storms she has calmed within herself, the battles she has fought without ever raising her voice. The chosen woman, she knows the discipline it takes to be still, to wait, to listen, to heal. And that knowledge becomes her power. She is not waiting in silence for someone to save her. She is saving herself. She is not quiet because she is small. She is quiet because she is vast. And in that silence, she is gathering strength. She is becoming unshakable. She is preparing to rise again. And when she does, the chosen woman, the world will feel the shift, not from the sound she makes, but from the power she carries. She rises not because she never falls, but because she refuses to stay down. Life has never made it easy for her. The world doesn't hand her victories. It places hurdles in her path, sometimes without warning. And there are days when she stumbles, the days when the weight is too heavy, the silence too loud, the path too long. But even then, she gathers herself, she wipes her tears, she breathes, and she rises again. She does not rise because everything is perfect. She rises while the chaos still spins around her. The chosen woman, while the pain still lingers in her chest, she does not wait for a calm sky to begin moving forward. She moves through storms. The chosen woman, with trembling hands and tired feet she stands. Her strength is not measured by how untouched she is, the chosen woman, but by how willing she is to keep walking even when her legs are weary and the road ahead is unknown. She has known loss. the kind that takes your breath and your voice. She has tasted rejection, heard no when her heart needed yes, felt alone in rooms full of people. She has fought battles that no one knew about because she chose to carry them quietly. She has broken down behind closed doors. The chosen woman then walked into the light with a smile, not because she was pretending but because she refused to let her darkness define her. She has fallen more times than most can count. But every time she hits the ground, something deep inside her whispers, not yet. It is not time to give in. There is still fire in you. There is still a reason to rise. And so she does. Not with fanfare. Not for applause. But because her spirit won't let her quit. There's power in that kind of rising. The quiet, the chosen woman. Steady kind that doesn't demand attention but leaves an imprint. She doesn't wait to feel strong before she stands. She knows that strength meets her in motion. She rises while still hurting. She moves forward even when afraid. And that is what makes her different, the chosen woman. She does not pretend the fall didn't happen. She just doesn't live there. She learns from every fall. She listens to what the pain is trying to teach her. She does not see failure as the end. To her it is a beginning. A space to gather herself. To become more aware, more alive. She embraces the fall for what it is. An invitation to rise more grounded, more sure, more whole. Others may see her scars and wonder how she made it through. But she does not explain herself. She lets her life speak. Her resilience is not just survival. It's creation. It's building herself again and again with wisdom that only comes from walking through fire. She knows that staying down is easy. Rising takes courage. And she chooses courage every single time. She does not compare her pace to others. She knows that rising looks different for everyone. Some days it means leaping. Other days it means crawling. But no matter the pace, she keeps going. Her journey is not linear, but it is honest. She owns every inch of it. The high moments and the lowest ones. Because each part has shaped her. She has met rock bottom and still reached for the light. She has stood at the edge of giving up and chosen instead to take one more breath. She has cried in the quiet and laughed through tears. And through it all, she keeps rising. Not because the world makes space for her, the chosen woman, but because she makes space for herself. There's something sacred in that refusal to stay down. The chosen woman. It's the kind of strength that doesn't shout but radiates. The kind that doesn't need to prove itself but proves itself anyway. She is not unshaken, but she is unbroken. Her fall never defines her. Her rise always does. Because no matter how many times life knocks her down, the chosen woman, she remembers who she is. She remembers what she's made of. The chosen woman. And she listens to that voice within that says, "Get up, girl, you were not meant to stay here, innocent." And so she rises once more with grace in her stride and strength in her silence. The chosen woman. A resilient woman transforms pain into power without losing her grace. She does not ask for struggle, but when it comes, she does not let it define her. She does not wear her hurt like a badge of bitterness. She wears it like a thread woven through her strength. The chosen woman, life has handed her moments of age, of silence, of breaking. She has known betrayal, disappointment. The chosen woman, the heartbreak that presses like a weight against the chest. But instead of letting the pain close her off from the world, chosen woman, she lets it carve space within her for deeper empathy, greater wisdom, and more powerful compassion. Her pain does not turn her cold. The chosen woman, it does not make her hard. It teaches her. It teaches her how to listen to the cries of others. The chosen woman, it shows her how to recognize the unseen battles in the faces around her. And when the world tells her to fight pain with fire, to bite back and raise walls, she does something different. She pauses. She chooses grace. She knows that power is not in lashing out. The chosen, not in proving something to people who never understood her in the first place. Her power is in her calm. In her ability to stand tall with soft eyes. The chosen woman, in the way she can walk into a room and change the energy without raising her voice. Her power is in her presence. It is the strength in her silence. The warmth in her kindness. the fire behind her peace. There were times she wanted to scream, to rage, to give up, but she learned to hold her head up, not in pride, but in quiet dignity. She found that the most radical act was not in returning pain, the chosen woman, but in healing from it and refusing to pass it on. She knew that a wounded woman could wound others, or she could choose another path. And she chose that higher road, not because it was easier, but because it was right. The chosen woman, there's something sacred in the way she holds herself after being broken. The way she puts herself back together piece by piece. Not rushing the process, not hiding the cracks. She lets the world see her rebuilding, not for pity, not for praise, but for truth. Because truth, the chosen woman, to her is the real form of strength. She is not ashamed of her struggle, she owns it. She carries it like a story worth telling. She has learned to stand still in the fire and let it refine her. Pain may have brought her to her knees, but it also taught her how to pray. The chosen one, it taught her how to listen to her own voice when other voices tried to silence her. It showed her how to honor her own needs, how to protect her peace, how to hold space for herself without apology. Her grace is not weakness. It is a deliberate act of strength. It is choosing kindness in a world that feeds on cruelty. It is choosing softness in a world that rewards sharpness. The chosen woman, it is choosing to love herself deeply even when she has been made to feel unlovable. That grace is her armor. It's how she walks through life without letting life harden her. Every pain she has endured has become a lesson. Every failure a redirection. The chosen woman, every heartbreak a reminder of her ability to feel deeply and still carry on. She uses her pain to light the path for others. Not to boast. Chosen woman, not to preach, but to say, I've been where you are and you're not alone. In her presence, others find safety. In her words, others find strength. She chosen not let bitterness rot the beauty inside her. She does not allow darkness to steal her light. Instead, she becomes the light. The chosen woman, her strength is not about domination or control. It's about rising again and again with grace in her steps and truth in her heart. The chosen woman, she holds her power quietly, firmly, deeply. She leads without shouting, she influences without forcing. The chosen woman, she knows that pain can either chain you or change you, and she chooses to let it change her for the better. She does not pretend the pain didn't happen. She simply refuses to stay in it. She does not carry her past as a burden. The chosen woman, she carries it as a testament to her resilience. And because she has known pain, she carries power. And because she carries power, the chosen woman, she walks with grace. And that is her true beauty. She is not waiting for a crown, she already wears it. She is not chasing strength. The chosen woman, she has already claimed it. She is the living proof that even in pain, there is purpose. Even in breaking, there is becoming. The chosen woman, and that is the story of a woman who turned her pain into power without ever letting go of her grace. The chosen woman, there is a sound deep in the soul of a woman that cannot be silenced. It whispers in storms and sings in silence. It rises in the quiet hours of doubt and roars in the face of fear. A resilient woman hears that sound and answers it. Not with a whisper, but with a shout that says, I am still here. I have been bent but not broken. I have walked through fire, and I am not ash, I am gold. She does not need permission to rise. She does not wait for the world to open doors. She builds her own. The chosen woman, she walks through valleys with her head high because she knows that pain is not her prison, it is her teacher. The chosen woman, she has been called too much and not enough. She has been told to sit down, to quiet down, to blend in, but she dances anyway. She speaks with thunder in her voice and grace in her step. She has known love and loss. She has tasted joy and sorrow in the same breath. She has carried dreams in cracked hems and still managed to hold hope. There were days her tears baptized her pillow. Nights when she folded her hands not in surrender but in prayer. She knows that strength is not loud, it is steady. It is the way she gets up again and again and again. She is not afraid of the truth. She holds it in her hands like fire. She does not run from it. The chosen woman, she lets it shape her. She lets it light the path forward. She has learned that silence does not keep her safe. Her voice is not a weapon, it is a gift, and she uses it to build, not to break. Her laughter is full like summer. Her anger is sacred. Her love is deep like rivers that have carved mountains. She does not seek to please everyone. She seeks to be whole. She is not perfect, but she is powerful. Her scars do not shame her, they name her survivor, warrior, healer. The chosen woman. The world may try to box her, label her, reduce her, but she slips through their fingers like smoke. She is the answer to prayers whispered by grandmothers long gone. She carries the legacy of women who stood tall with tired backs and tired hands. The chose she remembers, and in remembering she rises. And so, when the winds come, as they always do, when the ground shakes beneath her, she stands. She plants her feet in the soil of truth. She leans on faith and breathes in courage. She does not crumble. She does not run. The chosen woman. She becomes the storm that brings the rain and the calm that follows. To be a resilient woman is not to be unshaken. It is to shake and still stay standing. It is to be tired and still keep walking. It is to be afraid and still move forward. It is to fall down and rise with dirt on your knees and fire in your chest. She knows her worth. She knows her power. She walks with memory in her bones and vision in her eyes. And when she speaks, she moves mountains not with force, but with truth. When she loves, she heals. When she walks, she leaves footprints that others follow. You are that woman. You are strength wrapped in softness. You are grace born of grit. You are not defined by what tried to break you. You are defined by how you refuse to be broken. So rise again. Love again. Hope again. Speak again. Dance again. Dream again. Because the world needs a resilient woman. And you already are her.